It's been a while since I've been able to do this, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and what a battle we had last night to decide the Rose Bowl game against Ohio State. Catch the highlights coming up right now. Welcome back to the KITCHEL Sports Network. Robbie alongside with you right now. I know it's been a while, and I apologize. That's what happens when classes start getting the best of you here at Purdue University. But the bowl season's really starting to get ramped up. We got the big one tomorrow night, I should say, with Florida and Alabama, and then obviously much more will be decided. Texas, Nebraska, Georgia Tech, Clemson. Much more to talk about that later. Few housekeeping issues. Don't forget to tune into my Purdue Sports radio show here in West Lafayette, the Monday Night Triple Threat, on from 5 to 7. Monday nights, purdue.edu/WCCR, and catch everything going on with me on my Twitter page, twitter.com/KITCHEL22130. And as always, I'm going to try to stay as a college correspondent for the Game Time Live crew with JB and KB in Seattle. There's the link at the bottom of the page. I'm usually going on Thursdays at 4:30. That might change if I start doing college basketball for them, but I know I got a couple more college football teams or college football segments with them, so definitely tune into that. But last night, what a thriller we had in Eugene, Oregon. The game to decide the Rose Bowl between the Beavers and the Ducks. Two animals clashing. It was the 113th meeting of the Civil War. It was the first time that the game decided the Rose Bowl team. Beavers up 7-0 early on 3rd and goal. Michael James pounds into the end zone with an 8-play, 73-yard drive for the score. But Chip Kelly was not pleased with the way his offense went on that drive.
After Oregon's scoring drive, head coach Chip Kelly met his quarterback on the field, not to congratulate him and say, hey, great job. He said, hurry up! Why are you guys taking so long? Let's go! Move quicker!
I guess Aaron Andrews was trying to be as neutral as possible wearing the purple. That's just what I'm going for. But, alright, so Jeremiah responds. That one went 73 yards. It was only a 3-play, 75-yard possession, but Jeff Mail, 160 pounds, that's probably 160 pounds dripping wet. Nevertheless, the Ducks take a 14-13 lead. We move to the second quarter, and here's LaMichael James. He's been having fumble problems all season long. And look at the big O lineman, Mark Asper, trying to run down the ball here on his hands and knees. Unfortunately, a Beaver is faster than a duck on dry land. So Beavers get the turnover. They'd have to settle for another field goal, and here is LaMichael James once again powering his way to the end zone. Oregon takes a 21-16 lead. At that point, James only had 1 rushing yard, but he had 2 touchdowns rushing. Interesting stat. But the Beavers respond. Sean Canfield, James Rogers with the touchdown. Beavers go up 23-21 at the break. Third quarter, Beavers still have that same margin of a lead. And this time, Canfield finding Casey Kios over the middle. And the quarterback is pumped. Beavers up by 9. Now it's time for LeGarrette Blount. Remember him from the Boise State game? Well, he would come in the flying V formation, quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth, and look at LGB pound his way out, and this time he gets the handoff off the left side, and he shows not only the power, but the speed. Comes in, gets the 12-yard touchdown. Odson's fired up. Ducks cut the lead to 2 on 30-28. It was his first touchdown since last year's Holiday Bowl. But you have the power of Blount, and you have the speed of LaMichael James. Might as well just call them the Flying L's. You got LaMichael and LeGarrette. Ducks went for 2, didn't get it. Oregon has a 34-33 lead. So now Oregon State has to respond. They have a 3rd and 8 here with Sean Canfield, and Kenny Rowe blasts his way through the offensive line and gets the sack. So Oregon State's coach Mike Riley decides, let's go for it. Even though our field goal kicker hasn't missed in like his last 20 attempts, let's just go ahead and still go for it. Well, bad choice. Obviously, Bill Belichick was giving a little advice to the coach Riley, so they turned the ball over. Now Oregon has a 3rd and 2. LeGarrette Blount, nothing up the middle. So Chip Kelly now has a decision on his hands. He decides to go for it on 4th and 3, and the kid Masoli. This kid is going to be a Heisman candidate next year. I can best believe you that'll happen. How about the play he made on Lance Mitchell? Give the kid credit. He ran down the quarterback, but the 225-pounder Masoli just rams his way through the first down. Here's another fourth down. Masoli option. Kenjon Barner stretches and gets the first down, and that would be it, and that would be all. Oregon, their first Rose Bowl trip since the mid-90s. Everyone going ecstatic in Eugene, and it's roses and it's sweet victory for the Ducks. And here's the matchup that you have against the 8th-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. You expect a shootout, possibly, but Ohio State's offense has been a little erratic this season, but the defense has been stout as always. It's going to be a fun one to watch between Pryor and Masoli, and the coverage will start at 4:30 Eastern, New Year's Day on ABC. The Big Ten and the Pac-10 throw it down in Pasadena. It was hard to see how Oregon State was going to be able to win that game, and they did it all mainly without their great running back, Jacquizz Rodgers, who didn't really make an impact on the game whatsoever. Sean Canfield played one of his best games of the year in a hostile atmosphere. You got to give the Beavers credit. Yes, they weren't able to knock off their rivals from Oregon, but they still they made a lot of believers out of themselves and the media over in the West, and here obviously with me in the Midwest. I thought the Beavers wouldn't have any chance. Ducks came out, got the victory, so it'll be Oregon and Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. It'll be a fun one to watch. It'll be interesting to see how the speed of the Oregon offense matches up with the speed and power of the Buckeye defense. Maybe that game tape from the Ducks and Beavers game will give Ohio State a little bit of a encouragement to somehow stop that spread offense that Chip Kelly runs. Let's go ahead and run through the games here right now. Coming up, final game, championship week in college football. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh is going to be a phenomenal matchup. And I think Pittsburgh's going to come up with the upset here. Cincinnati's defense has been a little erratic this season, and they gave up 36 points to Illinois, who also ran up 375 yards, or 475 yards of total offense against the Bearcats. If Bill Stull and Deion Lewis have a big game, take the Panthers and watch out for that one. Conference USA Championship game. I'm going to take the upset here. I think East Carolina might have a chance. Patrick Pinckney, his senior season, Skip Holtz always has a good squad there for the Pirates. I think they upset Case Keenum and the Houston Cougars. USC will knock off Arizona. I think Boise State will dismantle New Mexico State, and the Broncos will be going to the BCS, which is good to see as well. West Virginia, I think, will win at Rutgers. It will be close. Cal is going to get upset by Washington. No job in best. The defense is suspect, and it's it could be Jake Locker's final home game in Seattle as a Husky. They don't have any bowl game this year, so that's going to be the bowl game for Washington and Coach Sark's first season. I'm going to take Georgia Tech over Clemson. The Tigers, that game against South Carolina, they looked pitiful. The defense couldn't stop anyone. CJ Spiller couldn't get anything going. But Clemson has got to continue to rely upon their senior running back, C.J. Spiller, if they want to win that game. But shut down the option. If you want to beat Georgia Tech, make them a passing team. In the last two games, the two big championship games that will decide BCS berths, first off, Texas and Nebraska. And I am going out on a complete limb here and saying Nebraska's going to upset Texas. I have that feeling, and the feelings so far this season haven't been too bad this year for me. I think Colt McCoy is just going to get caught up in the atmosphere too much, and Ndamukong Suh should have a big game against that Texas offensive line. Colt McCoy could throw for 300 yards, but I think Roy Halou and possibly if Zach Lee starts, I think they could get the job done on offense against that tough Texas defense. And it's going to be a low-scoring, grinded-out game. Huskers in an upset. Watch out for that one. And then the SEC championship game, got to take the Gators. I know everyone wants to look at the matchups between the two teams, but the one thing people need to remember, and the one key in this game, is this thing right here inside number 15's chest. Tim Tebow has the biggest heart of anybody in the country. He will take his team on his back to win any game this year. They've won 22 in a row. They'll make it 23 in a row against Alabama. And right now, I'm telling you, my pick is Florida TCU in the national championship game. I've been saying all year long, I want to see the Horned Frogs in the national championship. I hope this is the year and this is the time. So keep an eye out for that. What a great season it's been for college football. We got the postseason coming up. I'll recap all of my picks from all the conferences and other bids that I gave out this year for Heisman Trophy and other awards. I'll recap that coming up sometime next week. I know they're not all the greatest predictions in the world, but I got a couple of them right. So look forward to the games tomorrow night. Kitchel 22-130 signing off. Stay tuned for the next upcoming episode of the KSN Reports.